Greetings everyone, this is Patrick from patrickcomtesphotography.com. Wanted to do another tutorial in our Lightroom series, and this time I wanted to talk about presets. Presets are basically just a great way to get a particular look on a given photograph, and you can save those so that you can apply it to photographs over and over, and it's a real time saver in your workflow. So basically presets again are just filters that contain specific settings based on the options that you've chosen for your photograph. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. First and foremost, we're here in Lightroom. We need to be in the Develop module. And over here to the left, we have our presets. These all come preloaded from Adobe all the way back to Lightroom 3 up to the current version CC. There's been some slight tweaks to them based on the algorithms and what to make them a little bit better, but for the most part they're the same. And you can see as I hover over this photograph and these presets, it changes in the preview window to give you an idea of what it's going to look like before you apply the preset, which is kind of neat. Basically what I have here is just a photograph I took of a waterfall. It's the raw photo right out of the camera, so there's nothing applied to it. And I basically could use any of these presets if I hover over some of these. I'm just going to use high contrast and detail, and you can see it changes the photograph. Gives it a little more contrast and detail, just like the preset says, makes the photograph look a little bit better. I'm going to reset this back to the default, and we're just going to make some changes over here in the panels to change this photograph and sharpen it up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of bump up the contrast here a little bit. We're going to maybe increase the highlights a little bit, bring down the blacks a touch. That probably looks good right about there. We'll add some clarity. Anytime you have rocks or texture, clarity is a really good thing to add. And then I'll add a little bit of vibrance here just to give it a little bit more color. So something like maybe that. Looks a lot better than it did. And if I use the / key on my keyboard, I can go between the before and the after, and you can see it really kind of added a little pop to that photograph. So now I've got all these numbers over here, sliders changed to what I want. How do I save it and make it a preset? Well, you come over here to the plus sign, click on that. You'll see Create Preset. Click on that, and then you get a new Develop Preset window that comes up. So you can title this preset. I'm just going to call it Landscape 1. And it's going to go in the group user presets, and that doesn't show down here yet because I'm creating a preset, but it will once I click create. Now, important, if you've done this before, you're going to see various checks and things like that on there. You want to go down here to check none, and then basically what we're going to do is just pick and choose what we selected. So we added a little bit of contrast, I changed the highlights, we did the blacks, I added some clarity, we added some vibrance to it as well. So we're going to keep this, we're going to click create, and now you can see if I scroll down here on the left side under user presets, I have my pre-made preset that I just did. So let me reset this photograph back to where I had it. And if I click on the landscape preset, you can see it applies it again. So once I reset it, this is what I had. Once I added the preset, there I go. Now, if I want to export this or import this, I can do both. But let's say you wanted to import something, you could just use any of these controls over here, apply on import, and it would add that preset to your photograph. You can rename it. If I make changes to this while it's selected, you can just slide some sliders around to where you want them and then click Update with Current Settings, and it will update that based on your new preferences. You can also delete this too by just clicking Delete. So that's a great way to save a little time in your workflow, and the beauty of this is you can create as many of these presets as you want, and you can also add them in folders and things like that. Once you get enough of them, you can drag and drop and put them in there and then name the folder, so it kind of gives you a little bit of organization too. So there you have it, just kind of a quick tutorial on presets and how to make one, and I hope you guys have fun with that. Hey, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter at PatrickWC, and on Facebook at patrickcomptusphotography.com, and on Instagram at patrickw.comptus. So remember, if you guys follow me, I'll be happy to follow you. Thanks.